Welcome back to the Let's Talk Teaching podcast. I am your host, Kayla Durkin, founder of the Blossoming Teacher course, the face behind North Dakota Teaching on Instagram, a mentor, coach, and an advocate for first-year teachers. For those of you who don't know, I also manage a first-year teacher support group on Facebook with over 24,000 members. I know, it's insane. And that was the inspiration for today's episode. I completely thought that today we'd be talking all about how to write a newsletter to your families in a way that's not going to be stressful or overwhelming to you. And I still do believe that's something that we should chat about, but we're not going to chat about it today. This actually seems to take precedence today. So with that, there are hundreds of posts inside of that Facebook group that I've seen first-year teachers posting, teachers who are maybe coming back after being out of the profession for a while, or just teachers who have had some experience and they still need a little bit more help, and that's okay too. But anyway, within that group, teachers are posting like crazy, and there are so many other teachers who are commenting. They're being so kind and so generous with their words of advice and just the words of encouragement. But there are also teachers who are looking for a little bit more, and it's kind of hard to know what to say to them. And so, as much as I love that that group is mostly about sharing lesson ideas and classroom inspiration pictures and asking for advice and all of that good stuff, there are also these posts that they're tearing at me. And if you've heard my story before, this is the exact reason why I started the Blossoming Teacher course. There are just so many teachers that during this time, during back to school, they feel so helpless and they feel so overwhelmed. And I just can't sit back and watch this. And so that was why 3 years ago I started the Blossoming Teacher course. I just could not help that there were so many teachers feeling so lost. And so all of this has spiraled because of that. The podcast, the Facebook group, Instagram, all of that has came because of that. But we're back at it again this year. And so if any of you are feeling a little hopeless or anxious, overwhelmed, stressed to the max, this episode is for you. I am going to give you some words of encouragement, but I'm also going to be pretty blunt and straightforward. Mama Bear is coming to fight for you, but Mama Bear is also coming to give you some unsolicited life advice. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to do is I want to read through just a handful of posts that I've been seeing. And I just want you to know, like, these posts have all happened within the past few hours. Like, I woke up this morning, I went into the Facebook group, I read these posts, and I thought, oh my gosh, help, help, help. So I just picked a few. And if any of you are listening to this and you wrote these posts, this is nothing against you. This is just me sharing what I'm reading. So here we go. Here's the first one. Just need somewhat to vent. I know everyone talks about how overwhelming it is to be a first-year teacher, but dang, did I really underestimate what that meant. I feel like I have a never-ending to-do list of things. I feel so exhausted all the time, and I feel like I'm just winging it half the time, and I don't actually know what I'm doing. I take it one day at a time, but I wish I could feel more caught up in my tasks than I already am. It doesn't help that my printer is broken too, and I've emailed like 3 times to have it looked at, but with the rush of the first week, I think it keeps getting lost in the spam of emails. With a broken printer, I have to keep taking stuff home to print, so I really haven't been able to separate work and home yet. Needless to say, it's barely a week in, and I already feel so burnt out. I just really hope it gets easier as the year goes on. So that's one that I woke up to reading this morning. Here's another. I can't stop crying. I am having anxiety-induced stomach aches throughout the day and night. I can't sleep. I feel ill just laying down, closing my eyes, even though I'm so tired. I'm struggling with classroom management and honestly questioning whether I can survive until winter break. My 6th period disrespects me, and the rest of the periods are just exhausting. I've never felt so discouraged, overwhelmed, unwilling to go in. I would appreciate any encouragement. And then this next one. I'm literally feeling like I'm going to throw up or poop my pants, possibly both, with how nervous I am. Students start on Thursday this week. I have nothing on my walls. I feel so underprepared, so overwhelmed. I feel like I have so much stuff to do. Tuesday is meet the teacher, so I need to have stuff on my walls by then. Tomorrow is more meetings, trainings, and Tuesday and Wednesday are designated work days to prepare. The other teachers have been super helpful, but I still feel so overwhelmed. So that's just 3 of about 10 million posts that are going on within this Facebook group. And it's just so much, and it's so heavy. There are even heavier posts in the group that I knew I couldn't read because of all of the personal details that are within there. But I just have to start out by saying I truly do believe that being a first year teacher is one of the hardest things that anyone could ever do. My promise to you is that it does get easier. You start gaining new tools in your toolbox. You pick up classroom management strategies along the way. You learn how to find organizational systems that work for you and routines that help you stay on top of your to-do list. But I will stand firm when I say I do not believe anyone is fully prepared to be a first year teacher. There are so many amazing prep programs out there, but it's still not enough. These prep programs aren't teaching teachers how to set up a classroom, how to read a basal, how to manage their time, how to interact with admin, all of those things that first year teachers have to do. With most jobs, you go into your first day of the job, you get trained, or you follow someone around before you have to be on your own. Fortunately, we do have student teaching, but it's just not the same. It's not the same because it's not your classroom and it's hard to find your own voice as a student teacher, which if any of you are student teaching right now, this is just a quick little plug, but you should head to ndteaching.com/ST series for student teaching series, ndteaching.com/ST series. We have an awesome support program for student teachers who do not have the support they need. When we don't have the support that we need during student teaching, everything else is that much harder. So going back to this, first year teachers, they're expected to just show up on the first day and know what they need to do. They're expected to have this classroom prepared. They're expected to have everything ready to go. They're expected to be able to manage their time, manage their students, organize all the things that they need to teach and have coming their way. But nobody really prepares us for this. And that's why so many teachers feel so overwhelmed. I do not know a single teacher in the world who is ever going to say being a first year teacher is easy because it's not. However, going back to those posts that were posted before, this is the unsolicited advice that nobody asked for. If you are in the season of prepping your classroom, organizing your materials, gearing up for the first day, I need you to make that your number one. We cannot prepare for how our students are going to act or behave on that first day, but we can be darn sure that we're in control of the things that we can control. We can't control that admin are sending us requests for this and that. We cannot control that another student was added to our roster. We cannot control if the printer breaks, our tables don't arrive on time, and so on and so forth. You get the point. I actually have one teacher in the group. Oh my gosh, I read this comment yesterday or the day before that she's supposed to have a portable for this upcoming school year. She's a first year teacher. She's supposed to have a portable. She's teaching 8th grade. And since the portables didn't arrive on time, she will be teaching in a hallway. Yeah, I was just as shocked when I read that. I feel absolutely horrible for her. But getting back to this, we cannot control these things, but we can make sure that we are controlling the things that we can control. We can make sure that our room is ready, or in this case, her hallway is ready. We can make sure that our lessons are planned, that we've organized our personal life to meet the demands of the first few weeks. A lot of times, first year teachers have a lot of plans that they've made during the back to school season, and I think that's great. You guys know I am always going to say you are a person first and a teacher second. But at the same time, when you are starting a brand new job for the very first time ever, you're naturally just going to be a little bit exhausted. You're not used to standing on your feet all day. You're not used to talking all day. Your throat is going to be tired. Your body is going to be tired. You need to take some time to make sure you are doing the things for you too. So control the things that we can control. For those of you thinking, how are we supposed to finish our rooms if the printer breaks? This is another place that I just have to be very blunt. We have to be problem solvers. Same with the person who is super unfortunately going to be in that hallway. I mean, that's just horrible. I truly can't imagine it, but we have to be problem solvers and we have to make the best of it. I once had a principal whose rule was we could not come to her with a complaint or a problem unless we also came with a solution to that complaint or problem. So, with the hallway example, it's super unfair that she has to teach in that hallway, but maybe her solution could be, can you please provide me with a way that I can hang up some curtains to at least block off all of the distractions? Like that's definitely a solution to, I'm in this hallway, it's going to be super distracting. How are my kids going to focus? Well, maybe we can hang up some curtains or some paper or something that's going to kind of make it look like there is its own space for these students. Anyway, back to the printer thing. Let's just say our printer breaks. We need to have a solution for this printer breaking. We want to get our classroom ready. We want to get our lesson plans printed. Let's just think through what's the worst thing that can happen if this printer breaks. Well, okay, number one, you just don't print anything else. Okay, now what? Well, you could, I guess, print it at home. If you don't have a printer at home, you could ask a family or friend. If you don't have a family or friend that you could ask, you could maybe go to the local library or an office store or somewhere else locally in town that you could have it printed. And if that's not an option, you could also go to an online printing service and have it mailed to you. If that's not an option because it's not going to make it there in time either, then your last option is you just don't get to print. Like if you cannot find a solution for the printer being broken, then you're just going to have to move on. Now, yes, a few of those options that I just said require you to spend your own money, which I never want you to have to do, but we need to go back to the original problem and weigh the pros and cons. Would you rather not have what you need printed and stress every day leading up to it about if it's going to get printed, if the printer is going to be fixed, if you're going to have it on time, thinking about, I need all these things printed, what am I going to do? Or would you rather just spend that $5 or $10, get it printed somewhere else, get it done, and move on with your life? Or would you rather just take the time to make the things that you wanted printed digital? If it's not like a poster or something that's going on your wall, maybe you can project it on your whiteboard. Maybe you can share it over Google Classroom. We need to be problem solvers, I guess, is what I am trying to say. I do believe that we live in a reactive society, and sometimes we're so fixated on the problem that we really can't even see a solution on the other side. But here's the deal though. Today, we're talking about a printer, something that's so simple yet is so big. Like we want our classrooms decorated. We need our activities printed. We need the pieces. We need this and that. We need all of those things. A printer is very simple, but tomorrow we could be talking about a challenging student or a challenging parent, and we need to get into the habit of thinking through what's really happening. What is the reality of the matter at hand? And then start focusing on how are we going to solve that problem. The reality for that girl teaching in the hallway is that her portable did not come in time. Like that is super frustrating and super stressful. And I feel absolutely terrible for her. But now the reality is, okay, what are we going to do to solve this problem? And I think she took the first right step. She said, this is so hard for me. What am I going to do? I'm going to post in this Facebook group and I'm going to get a lot of advice. And then I'm going to take that advice, sort through it, and see what's going to work for me. I think that is an awesome solution for her because she got ideas such as hanging up the curtains, hanging up the paper, making it as much as a room as she possibly could. I guess I'm saying she, I think it was a she. I don't know. That's off topic. Anyway, okay, as teachers though, we want our students to be problem solvers. Like if our student's pencil broke, we're going to say, okay, but how are you going to solve it? That's going to happen to you a million times this school year. A student's going to come up to you and say, I don't have a pencil, or my pencil's broke, or whatever it is. And then you're going to hope your students come up with a solution that they can either get a new pencil from the pencil cup, they can borrow a pencil from the friend, they can sharpen their pencil if it's salvageable. We're going to hope they come up with a solution on their own. So we need to do the same. We need to be sure that we are taking care of the things that are in our control. There are going to be things that are out of our control, things that bring on that upset stomach feeling, those overwhelming feelings, those sleepless nights. And when those happen, please know, number one, your feelings are valid. You're allowed to feel all of the ways you feel. You're allowed to feel anxious and overwhelmed and upset. But I also want you to think through this in a proactive manner, which I know can be so hard. Sometimes we want to throw our own pity parties and just say, this is too hard. I'm not cut out for it. I'm not meant for it. This is unfair. Why is this happening to me? Trust me, I've been in that place too. But how can we focus on what's actually in our control? How can we be solution oriented instead of reactive? If you're religious, one of my favorite sayings is give it to God and go to bed. God has a reason for everything. Let's let Him sort through the mess. If we've done all we can do during the day, we have tried as much as we possibly can. The next thing we need to do is just give it up and go to sleep. You need a good night of rest. I do not want you laying there in your bed thinking about it all night long, not getting any sleep because it's making you so sick. And I know that's so hard. We've all had those sleepless nights, but at the end of the day, we just have to say, I've done all I can do. Now I get it, and now I really need to get a good night of sleep so that I can wake up tomorrow and attack the problem with a fresh mind. If we're one of those people where our to-do list is just so long and we're so overwhelmed because we have so much going on and we just don't even know how to channel all of the things that are in our brain, I want you to go back just 2 episodes. If you are not new here, you probably already listened to it, but maybe you forgot about it because it was so long ago. But if you are new here, a couple months ago, I posted an episode called Beating the Summer Overwhelm with a Brain Dump. And I swear by brain dumps. Brain dumps are my favorite way to get everything out of my head. You can go back and listen to the episode for more details, but the gist of it is you are going to take all of the things that are swimming around in your brain that are causing you to feel so overwhelmed with all of the things that you have to get done. You're going to take those things and you are going to write down every single thing that's floating around in your brain. The things you need to print, the things you need to prep, the things you need to get done, but also the personal things too. If you need to replace your tabs before the school year begins, if you need to get a haircut, if you need to go in and get some appointments taken care of, put all of that down on your list as well. And then you're going to prioritize it. What needs to get done right now? What could probably wait a little bit? Is there a phone call you need to make to set up that appointment? Well, the appointment can maybe wait, but the phone call probably needs to happen right now. What are some of your quick wins, things that you can just get crossed off right away so they don't have to float around in your brain anymore? But also, what are the tasks that you're avoiding and that you should probably accomplish sooner than later so that they get done? Once everything is out of your head, it's on paper, it's prioritized, just start attacking that list, baby. Get those things crossed off. But if you're anxious about meeting your students, about being a good teacher, if you're the right one for the job, if you're filled with self-doubt, you need to stop yourself right there. God has placed you in a position for this reason. The position you're in, whether you're teaching first grade, second grade, kindergarten, high school, whatever it is, you're a teacher's aide, whatever position you have this upcoming school year, I need you to step into your confidence and step into that role. God placed you in that role for a very specific reason, whether that's to educate young minds, to shake up the way things have always been done. If you're in a building that it just seems to be what's it? How do you say it? Motto, the motto there. Or maybe you're there to meet your teacher besties. Maybe you're there to fall into your passion that you didn't even realize was going to be a passion of yours. Or maybe you're in that role because it's going to teach you something along the way, and you're going to take what you learned and you're going to run with it and make it bigger and better for the next year. Whatever it is, if you're feeling anxious about this upcoming school year, I need you to know you are capable, you are enough, you are deserving of good things, and you are the right teacher for the job. I feel like I'm not going to be able to say this in the way that I want it to come across, but being nervous is a good thing. Questioning yourself, it's a good thing. That means you're a reflective practitioner. That means you have self-awareness in place. That means you're thinking through what's happening and what could happen and what's to come. If you weren't nervous or anxious and excited for everything that this upcoming school year has in store for you, I would maybe question just a little bit if you're in it for the right reasons. When we're not anxious about things, it just usually means that we don't care enough to worry. But I know you care so much about your students. I know you care so much about your role, about having everything prepped, about having everything ready. I know you care so much about the lives that you're shaping, and that's worth being anxious for. And like I said in the beginning, things are going to get easier. You just have to show up on day one and say, today's going to be the best day. I'm going to make the best of this day. I'm going to make the best of every situation. I am confident, I am capable, and I am exactly who my students need me to be. When we think about the upcoming school year, you don't know what you don't know, and you can't plan for or be prepared for the things that are unexpected, the things that you don't know are going to come or are going to happen. You can't be expected to have everything perfectly figured out because you've never done this before. So please give yourself a little bit of grace. Know that you are exactly who your students need you to be, and go into this school year with your passion lit on fire. We can't control the things that we can't control, but we can control our mind and our attitude as we are stepping into our confidence and stepping into everything this year has in store for us. And if you've already started the school year, if you're a couple weeks in and you're thinking, dang, I should have done that a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago or whenever you started, you get a fresh start every single day. Our students get a fresh start every single day. Everybody gets a fresh start every single day. Start over tomorrow. I I didn't plan on saying this at all today, but my first year of teaching, I love math. Math is my subject, but I didn't have a curriculum and I did not know how to teach it the right way. So, like 6 or 7 weeks into school, I started completely over, brand new, day one, like they had never learned fourth grade math a day in their life. And it's okay to do that. If you've been doing things the last couple days or weeks and you're thinking, yeah, I definitely shouldn't have done it that way, then don't. Then start over. Then give yourself a new chance to make this school year everything that it can be. Just because you did it those last couple days or last couple weeks doesn't mean that you have signed a contract saying you have to do it that way. You get to start over. You get a fresh chance. So, good things are coming, my friend, and you are so deserving of them. Take your confidence and run with it. And if you don't have that confidence yet, fake it till you make it, because that's what teaching is kind of all about. You have got this, and I know you're going to do a phenomenal job. But if you are still kind of just like terrified beyond measure and you truly have no idea what you're doing, it's okay to admit that too. Come on over, join our first year teachers within the Blossoming Teacher course, and we will be sure that you have everything you need during this upcoming school year. On Thursday, September 8th, we are doing one of my very favorite things. It's happening at 6 p.m. Central Time. It is called Wine a Little, Laugh a Lot. Bring your favorite beverage. Maybe it's a glass of wine, maybe it's water, maybe it's soda, whatever you like. Hopefully it's caffeine free since it's at night. But we are coming together to whine a little bit about the things that are out of our control, but we're also coming together to laugh a lot about the funniest things that have been happening in our first few days or first few weeks of teaching. It is such a great way to kick off our year with teachers who are all going through the same season of life as we are and who just truly get what emotions we're going through. You might have a significant other or a husband or a wife or whatever it is, and you can come home and you can tell them all the things that are happening, but they just truly don't get it. So that's why I love Wine a Little, Laugh a Lot. Again, it's happening on September 8th. And if you haven't signed up yet, you can save your seat at ndteaching.com/blossom. Within the Blossoming Teacher course, you are also going to get over 50 videos walking you through exactly how to do all of the things that nobody teaches us in college how to do. So if you want to learn how to set up your classroom, how to find an organizational system that works for you, how to dive into student data, how to plan for a sub, that is all waiting right there inside for you as well. So with that, we will chat soon. If you need anything at all, you can find me on Instagram at North Dakota Teaching. I am sending you all of the love, all of the best wishes. I am praying for every single one of you. The best is yet to come, and you can absolutely do this.